This is Steve Woodruff, the Connection Agent, and we are here today talking to Becky Carroll, who is the author of a new book, The Hidden Power of Your Customers. Welcome, Becky. It's good to have you as our guest.
Hey, thanks, Steve. I'm really happy to be here.
And Becky, you and I go back a long way. I think we started our blogs sometime near each other 4 or 5 years ago, and yours has always been called Customers Rock and has had a focus on customer service. Tell us a little bit about how this interest in customer service came about for you and all the things that you've done and written about it.
Oh, well, that would take quite a while, but I'm definitely passionate about customers. I think it started with when I worked at Hewlett-Packard. That was where I first started in my career back, a long time ago. I won't tell you how long ago because it will date me. But have always been interested in customer retention and loyalty, and a lot of the way that that's done has always been through customer service. So Customers Rock, to me, felt like a great place to share some of those ideas because I believe that customers should be the rock or the foundation of your business. And if you run your business that way, you're going to be successful.
And so you have worked for other companies. Now you work as a consultant on both short and long-term engagements focused on social media and customer service, correct?
I do. My current client is Verizon, where I am the community program manager and social media strategist. So that's pretty much one of those long-term, full-time engagements, but I have worked in the past and hope to in the future work on various client engagements around social and customer service, customer loyalty.
And you've also done some TV work, I think, for a local NBC station in San Diego talking about social media, and you teach a class, correct?
Yes, I am the social media contributor for NBC 739 TV in San Diego on the morning show. And I also teach a class at UC San Diego on how to market with social media. And this is my, I think, third or fourth summer doing that. So I've been teaching pretty much throughout the year, but it started in the summer.
Well, writing a book is a huge endeavor. So why did you put yourself through this? Why did you write The Hidden Power?
Well, interestingly, I actually kind of started my Customers Rock blog with a book in mind. I wanted to see if anyone would be interested in the topic and if anyone would read it other than my parents and my friends like you. And it turns out people did like the blog. They liked what I had to say. And actually, Wiley is my publisher. They approached me last summer and felt like it was a good topic and asked if I would write the book about the topic. And I said yes. So that's really where it came from.
Okay, and it's just been released, so it's now available on Amazon and all the usual outlets. And congratulations, by the way. I know it's a big undertaking, and it was quite a sacrifice over the last year getting that done. And there's a ton of really good content in this book for those of you that are interested in customer service. So in that book, I'm sure you outline some of the success principles, but what do you see as, say, 3 or 4 of the biggest failings of business in their customer service approach nowadays?
Okay, well, I do love to talk about the positives, so we'll definitely come around to that. My Customers Rock blog is a positive blog. I don't put complaints out there, but only positive ideas. However, that said, there are definitely some areas where I see companies faltering a little bit with customer service. And one of it is that they forget about their current customers, right? They get so busy running around and trying to find new customers or figure out how to make a new prospect happy that they don't prioritize their customer service. So they end up looking at their customer service organization as a cost center. They incent people to get off the phone as quickly as possible so they can move on to other people and just really kind of crank it through, as opposed to looking at those things as opportunities. And I also see a lot of organizations now starting to use social media for customer service, which is wonderful. If your customers are on social media, you should be out there listening to them. And if they want customer service help on social media, well, gosh, you better do it. But not everybody does. Sometimes they will have their PR agencies manning that, so they can't usually handle the customer service issues. They're just not made for that. Plus, they're not part of your brand on an integral basis. As well, the other thing that I see happening is that because companies are getting so good at customer service and social and responding quickly, now customers have a different expectation set. So when they go back to the phone or they even go into a retail store, well, they're expecting that kind of social media, razzmatazz, quick service. And it doesn't happen if the service levels aren't consistent. So having that consistent customer experience becomes even more obvious when companies don't.
Right. And you organize the book around this whole customers rock with the ROCK, correct? What does that stand for?
Yes, I do. Customers Rock, the Rock, ROCK, is relevant marketing, an orchestrated customer experience, a customer-focused culture, and killer customer service. And I firmly believe that you can't just be great at customer service. You can't just have fabulous marketing. You need all four of those pieces to really create the foundation for your customers.
So you're talking about major culture change. When you really look at it from the broadest perspective, we're not just talking about a Band-Aid on a call center here.
No, I mean, so here's an example. I have talked with and worked with a lot of companies, both large and small, and here's the question I would get. So Becky, we had this great customer service consultant come in, and they did some training for us, and it was really good, and we loved it, and everyone was rah-rah, and we were on board, and we thought it was really good, and for a month, it was great. And then it kind of fizzled, and they forgot, and these things didn't stick, and what can we do to make it stick? And the answer is you can't just train it into people, right? It is a culture. It's a way that you have to treat your employees with the same kind of servant leadership that you would expect them to use with customers. You have to hire the right kind of people who have passion for customers, and you got to measure them on the right things. You can't measure them on how quickly they can get off the phone or get people in through the retail store. You've got to measure them on those customer relationships. So does that take a culture change? Well, in some organizations, yes. You've got to really make a change to get that into your DNA. In other organizations, they may be part of the way there and just need a little bit of tuning, a little bit of polishing to really get them to that point where they can be consistent with it and provide that consistent customer experience.
And my impression of the book as I've been reading it is that it's really kind of a handbook or a manual for being able to implement really good customer service. So it's not just a bunch of highfalutin concepts, but there's a lot of you need to do this and do it this way and do it this way in there. So it's very practical from what I've seen.
Thank you. I wanted to write a practical book. It comes from years of experience on my end, both doing it myself. I've been out there. I haven't always been a consultant. I worked for HP for 13 years, working for Verizon now. So I've been in it. I know what it takes.
Right. Well, Becky, you also give talks at conferences and also give talks to clients, I assume. Tell us a little bit more about how you like to go about that and what are the themes you like to cover.
Sure. I do give talks at conferences. Sometimes I talk about Verizon and what I do there. Other times I talk about social media and how it's not a campaign, but it's a relationship. And yet other times I talk about my book, Rock, and the Rock Principles, and how to engage those principles in your business. So I've done that for conferences. I've done that for private organizations. I've done that for associations. I really just enjoy kind of spreading the gospel in that sense and being able to share with people, get them to think differently about their customers.
Well, people can find your book on Amazon or all the usual outlets. As far as finding you online, where's the best place to find you as far as, say, Twitter or your blog address? Where do we get you?
Well, from my blog, you can get to me anywhere. So the blog is probably the best place to send you, and customersrock.net is where you find that. If you want to cut straight to Twitter, it's at bcarroll7 with 2 R's and 2 L's.
Yeah, I've often had to correct the R and L thing and remember that it's 2 of each plus a 7. So, well, Becky, thanks for joining us. I'm sure your book is going to be very helpful for a number of people, and I'm sure that others will want to contact you and talk about the content and maybe even discuss having you come and speak to their groups. So thanks, and we are very glad to have you here on the Connection Agent blog.
Well, thanks, Steve. You rock.
Thanks, Becky. Take care.
Bye.